Okay, we're going to look in this section 4, we're going to look at some proofs here. We're going to do number 1 here, and we are given that AP is parallel to LN. Notice that's shown with these two little marks here. And we know that PR is equal to RN. So they were marked in the picture, but again, in any proof, always mark things that you're given. We are trying to prove that PA is equal to NL. So those two sides that are parallel. In order to do that, we want to get the triangles congruent. As you can see, we got two triangles in our picture here. And then we can say, once we get the triangles congruent, that any corresponding parts are equal, which in this case would be the two sides. So that's kind of my goal here. So let's look at our two-column proof. Step number 1 is always the given. Now you need to write this in. I'm going to shortcut a little bit in the video here. Obviously in step number 1 our statement column would be AP is parallel to LN and PR is equal to NR. That is our given. Okay, let's go to step number 2. So what do those parallel lines tell us? So I know that this one is parallel to this. Okay, and think about all the angles we've talked about. Let's think of this right here as a transversal that cuts through those parallel lines. Think of angle P right here and angle N right there. They would be alternate interior angles inside the lines on opposite side if PN is a transversal. So I could say, because my lines are parallel, that angle P is equal to angle N. And we're starting with parallel lines, so we would say parallel lines imply that alternate interior angles are equal. So AIA, alternate interior angles, are equal. So now I know that. And I have that these two sides, that PR is, I was also given that PR and RN were equal. Okay? Now, what else do I know? And again, always look for maybe in triangles that share a side, that you can say the side's equal to itself. In this case, we don't have that, but always look at vertical angles as well, because we know vertical angles are equal. So I'm going to go to step number 3. And if you notice, right here and here, I have vertical angles by those intersecting lines. So I could say that angle, let's call this PRA. So angle PRA, that's this angle right here, is equal to angle NRL. NRL. And that would be the vertical angle theorem, or vertical angles are equal, which is what the vertical angle theorem says. Okay, so now if you think about this, here's what I have. Let me do some erasing on my picture here. So we know, just so you can see things a little bit clearer, there's my vertical angles that were equal, and I already have that P is equal to N. If you look right here, I have these three things now in this triangle. So angle, side, angle. So we can say the triangles are congruent by angle, side, angle. So I'm going to say triangle, and I'm going to use the same order of letters I used in my angles there. So I'm going to say PRA is congruent to triangle NRL, and that would be by angle, side, angle, congruency. Okay, now sometimes they stop at saying proving the triangles are congruent, but here we wanted to show that PA was equal to NL. Well, now once you get the triangles congruent, you always have one more step. You can say that any corresponding parts are equal, and so PA would equal NL, and that's by corresponding parts congruent triangles are congruent. CP, CTC.